happy with only 15 faults.
We see the ride to the combination now. Joe with the cross lead going to it, but presses him off the ground. Watch him dig in here. He's just going to fire with his seat. He fires with his legs. His horse couldn't say no if it wanted to, but that's just a great ride by one of the greats ever. A very aggressive, careful, safe ride in the middle of that combination made that possible. Also, having a great horse underneath you can't hurt, but that's a treat to watch.
Katie Monahan Prudin on beaten back. Joe Fargis aboard Abdullah. Joe won a couple of gold medals in the 1984 Olympics at Los Angeles.
It's perhaps the most famous combination in United States show jumping history, with that double gold medal performance in the LA Olympics in '84. And Joe Fargis, again, is a gentleman who the United States, I can't help but believe, is going to be counting on very, very heavily in the Seoul Olympics in '88. His performance tonight, a very, very important one on the veteran Abdullah. Joe pretty deep with horses right now. Mill Pearl has had some great success recently. Abdullah making his way back. And Joe Fargis and his performance, again, I think are of great, great importance to the United States and its selection committee. A great veteran, and the veteran means a lot. The fact that you've been there, the fact that you've had success there. If Joe Fargis can be successful early on this year, prior to the Olympics, he's going to make the selection team's job a whole lot easier than it might be. He's a young man they're counting on a great, great deal. And Joe Fargis clean tonight as he makes the right-hand turn back to jump number 11. Then the ride to the water. And a hard press there. He's a little long to it, but clean. And clean to 13A and B. And Joe Fargis just one jump away now.
A couple of gold medals in 1984. You say he's headed back in '88.
I would think he has to be. He's a gentleman that if the horses are on, if he's on, it's, I think, a very logical selection. He's clean over the last, and he's clean tonight.
So that's our 5th clean round of the night. Joe Fargis aboard Abdullah joins Kim Rahuba, Mark Leon, Louis Jacob. Looking at Michael Matz, who hails from Collegeville, Pennsylvania. He is a board chef.
Michael coming off a win just last week at Tampa on his horse Bon Retour, setting up now for the combination at 3A and 3B. This is a rather important event tonight to Michael Matz, as a matter of fact. Michael is the one of 5 riders this year who can, if they win specific events, claim the Triple Crown of show jumping, which so far has been claimed only by Buddy Brown and Melanie Smith. Michael, if he were to win this event tonight, has already won the American Invitational and the Gold Cup. This is the missing jewel in the Triple Crown for Michael Matz. So this is one he's won it all. There's nothing this young man hasn't won in his star-studded career as a show jumper. This one has eluded him so far, and I'll promise you it's one he wants. And he's clean so far on Chef as he approaches number 9, clean again. And a clean ride to number 10, the Michelob Vertical. And Michael Matz now just 5 jumps away from what for him I think would be a very, very important jump off. This is one he wants. Clean at the water. Tight to that combination at 13A, but easily across that. His horse just patted the ground and fired off the ground over the triple bar at 13A very, very easily. Mike with 1 jump left, and he's on to a jump off in the American Invitational again. He's clean.
2-time Rider of the Year, Michael Matz, has joined our jump-off, which now is the 6th horse in the jump-off, Abdullah. Joe Fargis, so far just 1 clean round.
1 clean, and you can feel it here in Tampa Stadium right now. This crowd just right on top of this performance by Joe Fargis and Abdullah, the double gold medal winners in 1984. And again, I stress the importance of Joe's performance early on in '88 because we'd love to count on him again. He's in the jump off at the Invitational. He's clean across the first. And this is a very quiet crowd right now. Pats the ground at the Michelob Vertical. That's a tough shot there now. He took a tight turn to it. His horse did what looked to be almost a chip. Just patted the ground at it, arced up over it beautifully. Leaves out the stride between 5 and 6, and he's clean. And at a good gallop, and he's going to be well ahead of the time here if he can leave these last couple up. Here's the tough one, though. He's tight to it, tears it down behind. Unfortunately, he was a 1.5 seconds ahead of the time. However, same trouble as we had seen earlier. That's a very wide obstacle and a tough one to make a tight turn to. Abdullah and Joe Fargas with 4 faults. They'll finish with that score in a great time of 41.6.
So you seem to have a dilemma there. Do you want to make up time, or do you want to take it safe and make a wider turn?
Exactly. It's pay the fiddler time sometimes. You try to be fast, but that's a very, very wide jump. And we watch Joe Fargas and Abdullah again setting up for the turn. Again, I stress the width of this jump. This is a 6-foot wide oxer. You can't lose too much speed to it. He's too slow there for that horse to get across the jump. Again, we see the horse struggle at the top of the oxer when he knows he can't make it across it. And 4 tough faults for Abdullah and Joe Fargas. The ring, that would be 4 faults. See Catherine Birdsall now on. That's only
Katie Monahan-Prudhomme still the leader with a time of 43.9.
And we mentioned during Michael Matz's first round of the evening, he needs a win here to be the 3rd rider in the history of the sport to win the Triple Crown. This is the jewel he's missing, and it's a very important ride for him. This young man has won most of what there is to win within this sport, except this one. Become the 3rd rider ever to win the Triple Crown of show jumping. If he can take this one tonight, adds the stride between 5 and 6, which we've seen many of the riders not do. A little bit of a dodge trying to get through the combination and the jump beside the combination. Wide turn back to the oxer at number 14. He lands off of that about 2.5, close to 3 seconds behind the time set by Katie Prudhomme. So he's going to have to be in a big hustle here at the end. I'm not sure that he can make that time up. Was too careful to the 3rd to last jump on the course for Michael Matz. And he's going to miss the American Invitational victory.
And so far, it could be 8. Jeff is the horse, Joe Fargas the rider, and Fargas, of course, rode for the United States Olympic team in 1984 aboard Touch of Class. And he's going to try and join 7 others so far here in the jump-off.
And Joe Fargas, again, I think one of the gentlemen that the United States is looking to, if he's on top of his game, to represent them at the Olympic Games in '88. Riding Chef, a horse who for years had great success with Michael Matz. I have not seen them in about a month, and the last time I saw them, Joe, frankly, I think was going through a period of getting used to this horse. He was riding, or creating, I should say, from a rider's point of view, I think a lot stronger horse and a lot more up in the bridle individual than Michael Matz used to perform on. Now, one of 2 things is going to happen with that. Either the horse is going to get used to the transition, or if the horse doesn't, the rider has to learn to come around a little bit. Now, based on the efforts we've seen so far, it appears to me that Chef is making the transition to get used to Joe Fargas a little bit more than the other way around. Joe's still creating a pretty strong horse up in his hand compared again to what Michael Matz used to have. And 4 faults at jump number 9. So Chef and Joe Fargas will not be back in the jump-off. They're clean at the water, but the 4 faults at the 5-foot vertical at number 9 is going to preclude any jump-off performance today for Chef and Joe Fargas. Clean at the 5-foot vertical at number 11. And clean through the combination at 12 AB with rubs at both ends. And clean at number 13, so just the 4 fault score for Chef and Joe Fargas. Joe Fargas at about 6'2", between 6'2" and 6'3". Joe, one of the tallest riders on the tour, and one who has had for a very long time, I'm sure, given his height, has had to practice the control of his upper body in the air. If he leans too much at a horse or gets too active with his upper body, that's going to have a much more profound and negative effect on a horse than someone that's 5'1" or 5'2". Joe, an artist, I think, at his carriage with his upper body, at his upper body control, if you will.
Of course. It's something very, very tough.
It's a tough one, Jay. Steve Stevens has designed a real test for both horse and rider. As well as the elements here this afternoon, the ground being hard and it being a very, very warm day, I think that nerves are really going to be on edge. For instance, on the far side of the field, the triple combination, 3 triple bars. That's a real power and strength test for horse and rider.
U.S. Open Cadillac Jumping Championship, along with Michelle Grubb and Lisa Burke, Jay Randolph, here at the 88 Cadillac U.S. Open Jumping Championship. Joe Fargas on the course with Mill Pearl.
And Joe is indeed a candidate for the Olympic team in September.
Former Olympic gold medalist, of course.
Double gold medalist.
Right.
Mill Pearl won the American Gold Cup last year with Joe and also helped the United States win a fine victory in Aachen, Germany in the Nations Cup.
And was first in the Cadillac Grand Prix of New Hampshire. Fargus and Mill Pearl. 3 clean rounds so far on a warm and wonderful afternoon in Darien, Connecticut.
And you hear Joe with the vocal encouragement for Mill Pearl. This is a mare who's very, very careful with enough scope, but Joe really gives her an excellent ride. She's very similar to the horse that he won the double gold medal on, Touch of Class, but she's younger.
Fargus going very well at the moment on Mill Pearl. And through the last triple.
Great ride, just a great ride. Get her attention here. Ooh, what a jump.
I watched him walk this course early this morning, and he was really intense.
He's a studier, Joe. He wouldn't want to leave anything up to his imagination.
Our 4th clean round of the competition. Joe Fargus on Mill Pearl.
A great clear round it was. Just a beautiful ride. What a great little...
Who is already in the jump-off with Mill Pearl, and he is the final contestant through the first round. Fargus on Touch of Class.
This is Joe's great little mare that he won the double gold medal winner at the Los Angeles Olympics. Touch of Class, and she really is a touch of class. She's really come back into her own the last 2 years after a little bit of a layoff after the Olympics. And she has a lot of heart.
And Joe with an opportunity to have 2 horses in the jump-off if he can get clean with Touch of Class.
And certainly a great position to go last in the jump-off. Know what your fellow competitors have already done. Here Joe with his vocal encouragement. Ho. Ho doesn't mean stop. Ho means just slow down a little bit.
7 have qualified for the jump-off. Can Fargus make it 8 and have 2 shots?
She's just like a cat, this mare. She's very small, very lithe, thoroughbred, and just jumps like a cat.
I think if we would ask Joe, he would tell you this is the horse that he's counting on in the Olympics.
I think Joe would love to count on this horse in the Olympics. They have such a great rapport. It would be a great thing to go to the Olympics with the same horse twice. That would be very amazing.
And here we come to the combination.
Come on, Joe. Come on, Kitty. All right. He's got to get her back here. She doesn't get rattled. Oh, and with a lot of strength, he really helps her over that vertical. He's giving it plenty of time, Joe. He wants to make sure that he gives her all the time she needs.
He is clear. And Fargus, with Touch of Class, is in the jump-off. The only competitor to have 2 shots in the jump-off here at the Oxbridge Hunt Club in Darien, Connecticut. Finish with 10.
Yes, Jay, and Steve is asking the course helpers he has out here to remove some of the fences to give the riders a better chance to angle these jumps and a better chance to get to them. Here's the split time we see with Greg at 24.4 seconds at fence number 14. We'll be watching the other riders to see what time they reached fence number 14.
Joe Fargus, the first of the 2 horses that he will have in the jump-off. This is Mill Pearl. Fargus needs to be clear and beat 48.6.
And Joe's in a very good position here. He has seen Lisa Turnipole be 5 seconds faster than Jim Twist with 4 faults. So he's going to try to go about 2 seconds or 3 seconds faster, thinking about the other horses to go behind him, but really thinking about the time he needs to beat the horse who's already put up the score. And he's quicker. I think he's quicker to this point than Jim Twist. Good ride.